Imagine this. The men you voted for, the faces you trusted to run the country, didn't just take bribes. They took orders from the Mafia. This isn't a movie. It's history, and it's darker than anything Hollywood ever wrote. Today, we're stepping into the shadows where the mob and politics shook hands. A handshake that shaped America for decades. From City Hall to the White House, from small-time fixers to senators with blood on their money. This is the untold story of the politicians who owed the mob. Stay till the end, because you'll realize the mob didn't disappear. It just put on a suit and ran for office. Let's begin. It started in the Roaring '20s. Bootleggers were flooding cities with illegal liquor, and politicians were bleeding cash. The mob saw an opportunity. Money could buy silence. Money could buy favors. And soon every major city, Chicago, New York, Boston, had one thing in common: corruption that ran from the gutter to the governor's mansion. Take Chicago. Al Capone didn't just own speakeasies. He owned politicians. Ward bosses, mayors, even cops, all bought and paid for. When votes were needed, the mob delivered. When laws needed adjusting, a thick envelope took care of it. In New York, it was even more subtle. The five families, Genovese, Gambino, Lucchese, Colombo, Bonanno, they learned that violence drew attention, but influence drew power. They funneled cash through unions, construction projects, and campaign donations. Behind every handshake was a favor. Behind every favor, a threat. Frank Costello, known as the Prime Minister of the underworld, mastered it. He didn't shout or shoot. He whispered. Judges, senators, district attorneys, they all owed him something. He once said, "Why kill a man when you can own him?" And that's exactly what he did. By the 1950s, the Mafia had tentacles inside the U.S. government. During the McCarthy era, when communists were hunted like ghosts, nobody dared speak of the real enemy, organized crime, because many of the men leading the witch hunt were secretly funded by it. Then came the Kennedys. Joseph Kennedy, the family patriarch, made his fortune in liquor. Some say thanks to the same bootlegging routes the mob used. When John F. Kennedy ran for president, whispers followed. Did the mob help deliver Chicago and West Virginia? Some say Sam Giancana, the Chicago boss, ordered it done. The votes were delivered. Kennedy won. But the story turned on its head. Once in power, JFK and his brother Bobby turned on the very men who helped them. Attorney General Robert Kennedy declared war on organized crime, dragging mobsters into hearings, exposing their hidden world on national television. Giancana felt betrayed, and betrayal in the Mafia is never forgiven. In 1963, President Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. The official story blamed Lee Harvey Oswald, but in smoky backrooms across America, people whispered, "The mob did it." Not for politics, for payback. No proof ever surfaced, but the timing, the motive, the fury, it all fit the pattern. As decades passed, the mob's influence didn't fade. It evolved. The names changed, the methods didn't. Instead of paper envelopes, they used offshore accounts. Instead of mob soldiers, they had lobbyists. In New Jersey, Florida, even Washington, mob-linked developers funded campaigns. Politicians looked clean, but their hands were dipped in dirty money. Even today, investigations keep pulling threads that lead back to organized crime networks hidden in construction, casinos, garbage collection, and unions. And behind it all, the same old principle remains. Power protects money, and money protects power. So who really runs a country? The elected or the connected? Look closely at any big campaign, any billion-dollar contract, any sudden pardon, and you'll see the ghost of the mob still moving the pieces. Maybe the Godfather didn't die. Maybe he just learned to smile for the cameras. If you made it this far, you've seen how deep the corruption runs, not just in the streets, but in the very veins of democracy. If you want more stories like this, the hidden history, the dark truths, the secrets behind the headlines, subscribe now, because the next episode might just reveal something they don't want you to know. This was the politicians who owed the mob. And remember, power never changes hands. It just changes suits.